In the year 395, Murong Bao suffered a crushing defeat at Sana Slope, where 50,000 Yen soldiers were massacred by Tuoba Gui. In March of 396, in order to eliminate future external threats that his son might face upon ascending the throne, Murong Chui, despite being ill, personally led an expedition against Northern Wei. In a swift surprise attack on Pingqing, he killed the famous Northern Wei general Tuoba Qian, the younger brother of Tuoba Gui, and incorporated 30,000 Northern Wei soldiers defending Pingqing into his own forces just as Murong Chui was about to press his advantage and completely annihilate the remnants of the Northern Wei forces retreating westward. He passed by Sana Slope, the battlefield where his fallen Yen soldiers had perished. Stopping to pay tribute to the dead, the undefeated god of war was suddenly overwhelmed with sorrow and rage. Stricken by grief, he began coughing up blood uncontrollably and fell gravely ill. Unable to recover, he was forced to retreat and return home. On the journey back, he passed away at the age of 70, filled with regret. He left behind the vast and dominant later Yen Empire, the most powerful regime in the Central Plains, to his crown prince, Murong Bao. In 396, Murong Bao, the crown prince of later Yen, ascended the throne as the second emperor of the dynasty. However, Murong Bao was mediocre in ability, lacking the personal charisma of a true ruler and, even more so, the awe-inspiring presence of his father, Murong Chui. He was incapable of effectively governing the later Yen Empire. The later Yen court was filled with talented individuals. Many of Murong Bao's younger brothers and cousins had followed the god of war, Murong Chui, into battle from a young age. They commanded troops, mastered military strategy, and were capable of leading independent campaigns. However, most of these princes and imperial nephews had already been granted their own titles and territories. They held little respect for their mediocre elder brother, let alone any intention of offering him their full support. After Murong Bao ascended the throne, he sent Murong Lin, his younger brother and the Prince of Zhao, who was also a general of the imperial guards, to confront their stepmother, Empress Dowager Duan Yuanfei. Murong Lin said to her, "In the past, you often claimed that His Majesty was unfit to inherit and hold the throne. Well, how do things stand now? You would be wise to take your own life early to ensure the survival of your Duan family." Enraged, Duan Yuanfei retorted, "You brothers would even force your own mother to death. How can you possibly hold on to the empire? It is not that I fear death, but I grieve for the nation, which will soon perish." With that, she took her own life. The Murong tribe of the Xianbei people was one of the earliest northern ethnic groups to embrace Chinese cultural traditions. In Chinese culture, filial piety is a fundamental virtue, and for a son to kill his own mother is considered an unforgivable crime. By committing such an act, Murong Bao revealed himself to be neither a benevolent nor righteous ruler, causing him to lose the support and loyalty of his subjects. Meanwhile, Tuoba Gui's Northern Wei cavalry was watching closely, waiting for the right moment to invade later Yan. This time, despite being at a disadvantage in political maneuvering, military authority, and popular support, Murong Bao unexpectedly launched an unprecedented political reform in later Yen. Even as the regime faced both internal turmoil and external threats. He conducted a population census, disbanded military camps, and standardized official protocols, all in a reckless attempt at reform during a time of crisis. The establishment of rituals, regulations, and institutional systems is a sign of social progress, but such changes must align with the awareness of the people and the social environment. Otherwise, if implemented too hastily, the people may struggle to adapt, leading to social unrest. Murong Bao's political reforms were marked by harsh laws and strict decrees, creating divisions among the imperial court officials. Among the common people, 9 out of 10 households opposed him. Murong Hui, the Duke of Qinghe, was a son born to Murong Bao's concubine. From a young age, he displayed exceptional talent and was deeply favored by his grandfather, Murong Chui. At the time, since Murong Bao had not yet designated an heir, Murong Chui, in his final will, named Murong Hui as the successor to the throne. However, Murong Bao instead favored his youngest son, Murong Su, the Duke of Puyang. Later, after consulting his younger brothers, Murong Bao officially named Murong Su's mother as empress, making Murong Su the crown prince. At the same time, Murong Chui and Murong Hui were both elevated to princely ranks. From that moment on, Murong Hui began to harbor deep resentment. In August 396, Emperor Dawu of Northern Wei, Tuoba Gui, personally led an army of 100,000 to invade Later Yin. The vanguard forces advanced directly toward Jinyang and Bingzhou, modern-day Taiyuan, Shaanxi. Murong Nong led his troops to resist but suffered a defeat during the battle. The defending general, Sima Muyasong, betrayed Later Yin, switched sides, and shut the city gates, refusing to let Murong Nong retreat inside. Forced to flee, Murong Nong, along with a few thousand troops, attempted to escape toward the capital, Zhongshan. However, they were soon overtaken by Northern Wei forces. The Yan army was completely annihilated, and Murong Nong's wife and children were captured. In the end, he managed to escape back to Zhongshan with only 3 loyal attendants on fast horses. Less than 5 months after Murong Bao ascended the throne, he received the news that Bingzhou had fallen and that the Northern Wei army was advancing toward Zhongshan. Filled with panic and uncertainty, he did not know what to do. In the end, he heeded the advice of his brother Murong Lin to fortify the city walls, stockpile grain, and prepare for a war of attrition against the Wei army. Fortunately, the walls of Zhongshan were strong, and Murong Long led his troops in fierce resistance, preventing the Wei army from breaching the city for the time being. However, the Wei forces then turned their attention to other regions, swiftly capturing the surrounding counties with ease. Prince Fanyang, Murong Da, was in charge of the strategically important city of Yeqing, which was besieged by 50,000 soldiers from Tuoba Gui's Northern Wei forces. The Wei army came on strong, and in a desperate move, Murong Da sought help from the Qin dynasty, but the Qin forces were slow to arrive, and the people inside Yeqing were filled with fear and anxiety. The situation was critical. However, Murong Da remained calm in the face of adversity. He personally provided food and reassurance to his soldiers, strengthening their resolve to fight the Wei army to the death. After a prolonged siege, the Wei army could not capture the city. At this point, a conflict arose between the Wei generals, He Lai Lu, Tuoba Gui's uncle, and Tuoba Yi, the supreme commander. Their disagreement led to a retreat of their respective forces. Taking advantage of this, Murong Da launched a counterattack, decisively defeating Tuoba Yi and temporarily stabilizing the critical city of Yeqing. In February 397, internal turmoil broke out within Northern Wei. Tuoba Gui, no longer eager for battle, prepared to withdraw his forces and sent envoys to Later Yin to discuss peace. However, Murong Bao saw this as an opportunity for a counterattack and rejected the peace talks. He mobilized 120,000 infantry and 37,000 cavalry, setting up camp across the river and challenging the Wei army. Having recently recruited thousands of thieves and rogues from various counties to serve as a vanguard suicide squad, Murong Bao ordered them to secretly cross the river at night, set fires with the wind, and launch a surprise attack on Tuoba Gui's camp. Initially, the Wei army was caught off guard, causing chaos among the soldiers. In the confusion, Tuoba Gui woke up in a panic and fled barefoot from the flames. However, for unknown reasons, the disorganized and undisciplined thieves and rogues in the suicide squad began fighting among themselves as they looted the spoils of victory. Seeing the disorder, Tuoba Gui, now outside his camp, quickly regrouped his forces, set up additional torches for illumination, making it seem like daylight, and launched a cavalry charge. The Yan army was decisively defeated, with over 10,000 men captured or killed. The next day, Tuoba Gui reorganized his forces and crossed the river, engaging the main army of Later Yin. The previous night's surprise attack by the vanguard suicide squad on the Wei army camp had resulted in heavy losses, and the memory of the defeat was still fresh. The morale of the Yan army was low. Murong Bao, afraid to engage in battle, led his forces into a retreat toward Zhongshan. Tuoba Gui pursued and repeatedly defeated the Yan army's rearguard. Fearing that the Wei army would catch up, Murong Bao ordered his soldiers to abandon their weapons and armor, neglecting the larger army, and led only 20,000 cavalry to escape back to Zhongshan. At that time, a heavy snowstorm struck, and countless soldiers froze to death. Many of the abandoned troops, as well as officials, either surrendered to the Wei forces or were captured. After defeating the Yan army, Tuoba Gui quickly sent troops back to Northern Wei to quell the internal unrest. Both were Yan armies, yet under the leadership of the god of war, Murong Chui, they were invincible, winning every battle and conquering every obstacle. Under his son Murong Bao, however, the Yan army became weak and easily defeated. Does this not prove that only under the leadership of a hero can the people create history?